is between Indonesia versus Turkey.
Indonesia currently one game up, one victory away from securing clean sweep and looking much more comfortable about their chances of moving straight on into the playoffs. Can Team Turkey once again show why they are a considerable dark horse in the MlBB ecosystem?
Okay, if they want to play it off a little bit slow right now, it can give a little bit of chance for Team Turkey that the fact that they can actually play around for that scaling phase. But at the same time, somehow, Nora, they don't for a fact with the Kalea in the hands, she can actually just mess around just a little bit in the early runs.
I think what we are probably going to see in terms of early game pressure will most likely come out of Team Turkey here. Because once again, it's the Kalea Farsa combo along with a Lancelot means that their mid trio is actually pretty strong. They can gank side lanes, they can get pickas. It will be a bit difficult to do so in the goal lane because Shell does have that Purify, but they're still going to try and put some pressure there.
They definitely trying to make sure that they can have the opening wave. They can actually have a way for them to just break off the composition coming off from Team Indonesia itself. But so far right now, I do feel like Team Indonesia kind of can read the strategy that is done by Turkey as well. So they are playing it a little bit safe as well. The movement coming off from CD, but here, Nora again with a wave breaker every single time.
I really like Vivian's positioning there, putting herself in the bush because they know that if this Kalea Farsa moves around without being scouted, it spells disaster for any of their side lanes, even going to see the entire mid trio around the turtle.
I like the fact that they keep on opening the whole entire map itself so they can just expose every location of Team Indonesia. But here on out, it's going to be the first turtle and the fight is going to begin.
Comes in, they get the knockup. Vivian going to be forced to use the Revitalize. Gatot still very tanky. Here comes the backline dives and they are going to be the first one to go down to Fumi Echo with the bravest fighter. First blood to Team Indonesia.
No.
And now we can see Esmeralda just left alone trying to survive as long as possible. Flicker forward, Cine finishes off Unohana and there's still not done. Fumi Echo is still trying to disrupt the purple buff and slow down Kujo.
I mean, Unohana was just a little bit too long staying into that positioning to a point that it was easy for Indonesia to just steal her away. So question-wise for Team Turkey, they cannot be too much of the dedication to play around with Team Indonesia. But somehow, there's going to be a 2-kill, but at the same time, you're going to go in all out with Miko as well.
Miko has to be very careful here. Harif is a hero that can full dive a Granger if you position wrongly. Oh, they found the Gatal once again. Unohana, Vivian gonna be going down since it is a 4-man dive. That's Feathered Airstrike damage.
Feathered Strike's damage nicely done, opening off with the Wave Breaker as well. Now, it seems that Gatal trying to be actually Tizu.
In exchange, I think that is a trade they're willing to take.
Yep, they definitely know for a fact that it is a sacrifice that is needed, but at least they'll be able to actually maintain the gap between each other with economy-wise as well. But again, it's not too far off for Team Indonesia as well as Turkey. Now, the question is how much more they can actually contain this positioning because again, yes, Indonesia is playing it slow, but as they scale off, it's not going to be good for Team Turkey.
Indonesia is going to have very strong late game scaling, but Turkey is not too far behind as well, right? All of their DPS cores will still have pretty strong late game as well, especially Mieko on this Granger, as long as she doesn't lose too hard to the Harif in lane. And she does have the EXP advantage, so Turkey is still doing a good job of making space for their core.
Agree, because the fact is we are seeing that Team Turkey is just denying every movement coming off from Team Indonesia. They're allowing that shell, but at the same time, this is going to be a composition steal away!
Slam onto the Gatot. Violet comes out, Feathered Airstrike this time, not going to be quite enough to finish off Vivian. So she will survive.
Oh, what a really good steal away, but then the follow-up was just not enough coming off from Team Turkey. And now Vivian was just going to be backing away, easily surviving that fight. And Unohana on the other again, kind of extending herself too much, too long, and now Cine!
Ooh, the flicker forward from Cine with the Darkening. Again, this is why Lunox counters Esme. The damage is just so high.
The damage is just so high to a point that Unohana just caught off guard too many times to a point that the damage cannot be faltered. And now, moving on, they'll be able to clear out every single minion wave. They'll be able to control every single movement of Team Turkey. But here on Akujo with Fumi Echo.
It's a 1v1 down here. We can see Kujo starting to do a good amount of damage. I don't think... Oh, hold on. City comes in from the side. I don't think Kujo was expecting that one. The Landslot will go down. And the Brilliance even used to get Cine out. That's a perfect setup for Indonesia to start working on the Turtle.
Great gang up, coming up for 2v1 right there. Turtle might be actually free it off, even with the zone coming up from Nora and Unohana.
Unohana tries jumping in, but Vival has the Retribution, so it's going to be an easy turtle for Indonesia. And now Zendaya in trouble, but the Oki Shadow Kill misses. Vival missed time stat. So Zendaya gets out. The rest of TURKIYE also going to be able to back off a little bit here. They need to clear 1 minion, and they will be able to do so. But the flicker forward, Tsunami Slam gets one catch. Revitalize comes out, but Nora goes down. Unohana can be traded as well. It's a double kill. City gets a full dive. Zendaya goes down. Vival finds a kill. Backs it up as well. Indonesia instantly picks up 3 members of TURKIYE.
3 members taken down immediately by Indonesia. Great diving in composition coming in from them. Despite, however, Team Turkey tried to defend that mid turret. Alongside right here, we do see Team Indonesia getting more and more frisky to a point that Turkey could not defend themselves.
Gotta be a bit more careful there. It was an initially good defense. Echo now in some trouble, but jumps into the minion wave to regen with the sustained Landshaker Raging Slash. Echo has the flicker just to get away. Echo still surviving with the shields. Nora comes in from the side. So much effort just to take down this Lapu Lapu.
3 players come through, and even then, Shell able to take it out, and now one more! Zendaya will be able to be shut down by Cine as well, and they will move away without any casualty in their hands.
Cine is an absolute monster on this Lunox. 5-0 already. The gold lead slowly adding up as time goes on, and TURKIYE losing their grasp over the map despite having a strong ganking combo. The rotations from Indonesia so far are very clean.
Very clean indeed, to a point that Team Turkey still couldn't find any answer for them to actually back off or even try to neutralize the situation. Now, more and more turrets has already been shut down. Now they're getting into the second layer of the turret. Team Turkey trying to find a way for them to just stick around. 4 players. Wavebreaker will be open up for them to see every movement, but then they come through with Unohana.
Unohana jumps in first. TURKIYE gonna realize, okay, there's more people there than expected, so we're not gonna full commit onto this, especially with the turtle coming up. And a wave pushing up top as well. Indonesia setting up the macro in their favor.
Yeah, the macro is quite clean. This Turkey, Nora comes in with a Wavebreaker.
That's very deep, Nora. Completely isolated. Beautiful play from Vival. Dodges the Kalea entirely. Gets a free turtle. Nora now in complete no man's land. But somehow still managing to buy time. The rest of TURKIYE not able to back her up though. They're being zoned out in the mid lane. So after everything, the Kalea is actually out.
I mean, at least she did survive it out, even though she had to rotate the whole entire map just to actually move away from Team Indonesia. But kind of great zoning coming out from Team Indonesia, the fact that they were able to actually scatter around Team Turkey. And now, again, from time to time, the objective-wise still goes in the favor of Team Indonesia. They know for a fact now, with the gap, 5,000 economy-wise is in their hands. Itemization definitely built up for Team Indonesia compared to Team Turkey.
Team TURKIYE is gonna need to put in some work here to make up the difference. But again, they do have a late game scaling composition, which means if they're able to get a little bit more itemization in, they can still match up to Indonesia despite the gold difference. And we can see they're heavily hovering around Mieko. But they're, oh my goodness, Vival! Jumps right in! Gets the kill on the Granger in the middle of this entire team. And now Fumieko is looking for another flicker forward with the Raging Slash. Zendaya goes down. Nora now isolated once again. And Indonesia is gonna make sure to chase her down this time.
Nope, Shell's gonna deny the movement. Yep, goes in for the Tsunami Slam, but Nora unfortunately will be tagged off by the 2 players. And again, she will be shut down immediately, even though she did survive it out. But it's going to be a Cine's kill. But then again, they go in for Kujo as well as Unohana.
They're not able to find any more kills after that, but the damage is already lacking thanks to the missing piece that is Zendaya. Mid-tier 2 will fall. Feather Desperate comes out once again, but here comes the Shadow Kill! Vival! With the mega kill again! Mieko just not allowed to survive.
Not allowed to even get into the baseline safely. That diving composition coming out from Vival with 402 KDA. No one can stop her at all. Previously, she was using Lancelot. Now with the Hayabusa, she's doing such a great composition, such a great movement, as well as clean sweep to a point that Team Turkey could not stop her.
These are the micro mechanics that have made Team Indonesia the best women's MlBB team in the world for so long. And even though Team Turkey has so far been doing a good job of trying to match up in terms of discipline, the gap in experience is starting to show itself.
Turkey, again, yes, the gap-wise is getting more bigger, not just for the economy-wise, the kill-wise. Indonesia dominating 13 kills to 2 kills from Turkey. This shows how much this is a big different compared to the first round itself. And with the Lord coming in right now, this is going to be the second one for the hands of Team Indonesia. They push on a lot of the minions from the bottom lane as well.
Nora jumps in, not going to commit Tsunami Slam since that is going to be Vivian right there. Their attempted ambush on Vival did not work as well. I could see the really good presence of mind to check the bush with Quad Shadow first. And now Lord is going to be pushing in mid lane. 11 minutes in, it's a 9k goal lead. Federer comes out first. AOG forces the cancel straight away. Vivian is inside the base, still tanking up with the Revitalize. And Indonesia is full diving the tower. Tsunami Slam not able to do anything. Nora has to flicker away. The tower just goes down. And Indonesia, their advent cannot be stopped. They are steamrolling their way into the base of Team Turkiyye. But they've run out of minions. The Lord will eventually fall. They'll go for another tower down bottom. Indonesia, this is where they made the mistake previously. Do they still want to force the engage?
Oh, but Kujo also trying to make sure that Team Indonesia does not go in. They try to go in for out Nora. Federer side open.
Looks like they'll be able to get away from that one, but Indonesia hasn't given up just yet. They want one more tower. The final inhibitor standing for Team Turkiyye. Ogi Shadow kill once again. Not going to be used this time, actually. Vival just zoning. And now the base of Team Turkiyye is completely empty.
Empty. Open for the side of Indonesia to end it all off if they can do it with this second lot. First lot was doing well just to break the whole entire inhibitor turrets. And even so, we do need to give a little bit of credit for Turkey because the defense-wise coming up from them was just great, but just still not enough for them to make sure that Team Indonesia doesn't fall down all of the turrets that is already in their baseline. The question is, can Turkey make something right here?
This is a fairly snowball-heavy meta, and as we can see, Turkiyye is super far behind in terms of farm. It's already a 10k gold lead, and their late game scaling is nowhere close to coming online. This could already be a GG situation.
Turkey losing much of their momentum from the first game itself. And looking from how they were trying to actually control the positioning, and I know for a fact that we were hoping for Nora. Nora keep on trying to actually initiate, get the wave breaker. Tsunami Slam try to actually steal away Team Indonesia into the hands to make sure that they have a really good team fight. Ended up, the favor comes in for Team Indonesia to just negate every single positioning. That's the Purify comes in from Shell itself, because no matter how much they decide to steal away anyone from the Team of Indonesia, they will definitely neutralize it immediately now. This is going to be the second launch.
Yeah, that's the experience of this team showing itself. See the Conceal just opening up the area around the river so quickly, and then instantly transitioning to basically free Lord for Vival.
And the fact that, again, this is going to be maybe the last march that will be done by Team Indonesia if Team Turkey does not pull out every single stunt they have under their sleeve to guard out that crystal. So far, they are sticking up for themselves right here inside the grass, because they knew for a fact that maybe there's a possibility they might be able to do a surprise attack. But again, look at how Vivian, she's just opening every single grass, every single moment to make sure that Team Turkey cannot do a surprise attack.
Team Turkiyye cannot let this Lord collide, but the flicker forward, Landshaker forces the flicker over here, goes still not able to escape, goes down! The Granger's already out of the equation, the Lord is dropping low with crystals, exposed, then he's godlike, and still diving all the way through! It's a triple kill, a maniac for Cine! And that marks the victory of Team Indonesia!